Okay, so the chapter 4.1, which is talking about the significant figure. So first we need to know the reason why we need to learn the significant figure. So consider two scenarios. First scenario is that we can analyze the population in the Zhengguanou, which is about 396,456. So if you want to make it simpler, just a little bit simpler, so we correct the approximate the population corrected to the nearest 10. So it becomes 396,460. So we are a little bit approximate here. So another situation is that the time that Mr. Man run faster than Bolt, which is about 0.0396456 seconds. So if we use the same approximation methods using correcting to the nearest 10, it turns out that because the difference between Mr. Man and Bolt is very, very small, so it becomes a very not that good approximation, which is only 0 seconds, so which is not that good. So that's why we need to learn what is the meaning of the significant figures to make this approximation and this approximations need to be making sense. So before we learn significant figures, we can look at the book, page 3. And there are two quick reviews that you need to know. First is about the place value. So actually in the previous page, we know the meaning of correct to the nearest 10. We have reviewed that. And also we need to know the meaning of thousands, hundred, units, and decimal points, and 1/10 and 100th in this place value. And then the rounding off. So the meaning of rounding off is, in Chinese, is called 四捨五入. So basically, there are two situations. So we are trying to approximate the value rounding off to the certain place value, and then it will become something like this. You can read it at home. Just bear in mind that for the correct to one decimal places, we can abbreviate as a DP. Okay, then turn to page 6. You can see here we have two examples to talk about the meaning of significant figure. Now basically, just like this man said, the most significant figure is always the leftmost non-zero digit, non-zero number. So you can see that for the first example, the leftmost non-zero digit is this one, 2. So this is the most significant figure. So and then from left to the right, the thing is become less significant. So the second one, which is this one is become the second significant figure. Okay, so and then become the third one. The 4 is the first significant figure, so on and so forth. So you can see that this 2145 number has 4 significant figures, these 4 numbers. Okay, so look at another smaller number, 0.06308. Again, we utilize this concept for the significant figure because actually this first 0 and the second 0 is not that good enough for us to look at this number. Okay, so we need to look at the leftmost non-zero digit, which is this one, this 6. And this is the most significant figure to represent how large or how small the figure it is, the number it is. So and then again from left to the right. Okay, so the significance become much less So when we are trying to from the left to the right, so actually in the diagram, in the left hand side is most significant. And then when we go from left to right, the value become less significant. So this is the page 6. So if we are trying to rounding off some values, for example 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 here, by using the concept of significant figure. So because significant figures is so long, the wording is so long, so actually we can use SIG dot and then FIG dot to represent significant figures. For example, if I want to correct the 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, approximate that to one significant figure, so you look at the leftmost non-zero number, which is the 1, and then you correct them to become 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, because 2, 4, 6, 8 is less than 500, so sorry 5,000, so that's why we round it down. And rounding off to two significant figures, again we look at the leftmost significant figure, non-zero digit, which is 1, and then because it's two significant figures, so we remain two significant figures, 1, 2, and then rounding off the remaining stuff, 0, 0, 0. Because 4, 6, 8 is less than 500, so we round it down. But in the case that when we're talking about three significant figures, so we keep the 1, 2, 4, the first three most significant figure. So the remaining stuff is the 16x. Because 16x is larger than 50, so we round up a little bit, so we become 4 plus 1 become 5. Okay, so on and so forth for the four significant figures. You can take it by yourself.